Hi everyone, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, you're absolutely welcome. My name is Ademisola Adeyemi, also known as Diction with Demi, and on this channel we talk elocution, social etiquette, and personal development. If this is something that you love to learn more about or that you're interested in, please subscribe to this channel if you're not already, and click on the notification bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. In this episode, I am going to be sharing with you 7 tips to becoming an eloquent speaker. So if this is something that you're interested in, definitely keep on watching. So 7 tips to becoming an eloquent speaker. Number 1, be clear. First, let's establish what elocution is. Elocution is clarity of speech, distinctiveness of speech, the ability to speak and be understood by anyone and everyone in any part of the world. So it's very important that you are clear, you're not mumbling, you're not, as much as possible, you're not stuttering, you're not too quiet. All of these things are really very important. So remember, communication is for your audience. So when they cannot understand what it is you're saying, the content of your message is lost. So ensure that you're clear. Ensure that you're opening your mouth. Yes, open your mouth literally wide when you're speaking, which is the reason why we advise people to take reading exercises or speech exercises like tongue twisters. Let me tell you something that tongue twisters help us achieve. So they help to stretch the muscles of our mouths. They help us to open our mouths, right? So that's what tongue twisters and these reading exercises help us achieve. So it's important that you don't speak clearly. Open your mouth wide when you speak. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2, work on your pronunciation. This is very important, especially if you intend to play on the global scene. I'm Nigerian, for instance, and I know that I have a number of people watching me who are Nigerians, who are Africans, or people who are second learners of the English language. Now, what does this mean? For instance, I'm Nigerian and Yoruba is my first language. So if you're Igbo, for instance, Igbo is your first language. Do you understand? But English, being, should I say, an imported language, is our second language. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's the same thing for people who are from other nationalities or countries. So for second learners of the English language, it's important that we master as much as possible the English language. For instance, in Nigeria, English is our lingua franca. English is the national language. English is a global language. English is a unifying language. You will agree with me. We sign documents of trade, of commerce, of international relations, most likely in English language. We type our emails in English language. So it's actually beyond, oh, English is not my mother tongue. Agreed. And I am not the elocution coach who would tell you to discard your mother tongue or your native language. No. I remember very vividly in school that we were taught that acquisition of a second language becomes easier when you have mastered your first language, right? So when you're proficient in your first language, then acquisition of a second one becomes easier. So you can have the best of both worlds, really. You can speak Yoruba or Igbo or any language or your first language very clearly and then acquire English language or master it to a very good extent. So you need to work on your pronunciations. You need to work on on your stress placement. And when I say stress placement, I mean you have a word like, I'm going to put it on the screen, you have a word like Interesting. That word is not interesting, it is interesting. It is interesting, right? So communicate is not communicate or communicate, it is communicate. So you have that as a syllable is carrying the stress. So these are the things that make for refinement of speech that we need to work on. We need to work on pronouncing our words correctly and, of course, correct stress placement of words so that even if you're South African, even if you're Ugandan, even if you're Kenyan, even if you're Nigerian, and you need to take on a speaking engagement at United Nations where you have different people, you're not scared, you're not jittery, you're not nervous, because you know that people from every part of the world will be able to understand you. That, my friend, is the goal of elocution. Social intelligibility, the ability to speak and be understood in any and every part of the world. Tip number 3, eliminate filler words. Yes, the I mean, those are literally words that you use to fill in the gap when you are speaking. This is what happens when you use a lot of filler words in your speech. It makes you sound clueless. It makes you sound like or come across like you did not prepare for your presentation, and that will not make you create a good impression in the minds of your audience, and you do not want that. So you want to, as much as possible, eliminate filler words from your speech. Now, what do you do instead? That's the next question. What do you do instead of saying replace your filler words with a pause. So whenever you're speaking and you already sense that you're about to use your filler word or a filler word, what do? You pause instead whilst you're gathering your thoughts. For instance, you are about to say, I have an event tomorrow. Instead of going, I have an event tomorrow, you say, I have an event tomorrow. Did you see that or did you hear that? It sounds more refined that way. Your speech sounds more refined that way. You say instead, I have an event tomorrow. Instead of going, I have an event tomorrow. And I also want you to be conscious of it. The moment you're conscious of it, whenever you're about to use a filler word, you control yourself and you pause instead. Then you can get accountability, get your loved ones, get the people around you to help you get better. Learning a new habit becomes easier when you're accountable to someone. So it might be your spouse, your sibling, your friend, your colleague. Yes, that word is colleague, not colleague. Yes, you can get your colleague or anyone close to you to hold you accountable. Again, back to the point. Replace your filler words with pauses so that you don't sound clueless. Tip number 4, pace your words. Yes, pace your words. And what do I mean? In this part of the world, we're used to speaking so fast. You're wondering, oh my God, what is the problem? Why are you in a hurry? We're in a hurry to work. We walk fast. We speak fast. We haggle for literally everything. We don't take turns. We don't take turns at parties. We haggle for souvenirs. That is very, very wrong. So it's almost like we were in a hurry to do everything. So it's very important that you work on your pace. Work on your pace so you're not too fast and then you're not too slow. Let me start with the former, because that is what a lot of us are guilty of. We speak very fast. Again, I need you to be conscious of it. I need you to get somebody to hold you accountable. Say, hey, this is what I'm trying to improve on. I'm trying to work on my pace. And whenever your friend catches you speaking fast, they remind you, say, Bola, please calm down. Then you need to be conscious of it as well. Make a mental note that I am trying to work on my pace. So whenever you catch yourself saying, I'm going to write tomorrow, say, no, Danny, calm down. I am preparing for my event tomorrow and I'm working on my slides. Instead of going, I'm going to write tomorrow, I'm going to Nah, again, communication is for your audience, and when you speak very fast, members of your audience will not understand or grasp what it is that you're saying. Now, on the other hand, you do not want to be too slow. I have an event tomorrow and I am currently working on my slides. Now that is boring and it does not make you exude confidence as a speaker. So as much as possible, you do not want to be too fast and you do not want to be too slow. You want to maintain a fine balance when you speak. Enjoy your speech. Take your time. Nobody's rushing you. Again, you're not too fast and then you're not too slow. That way, members of your audience will enjoy the presentation. Tip number 5, broaden your vocabulary. Yes, what does this help you achieve? It makes you a very interesting speaker. It makes you a compelling speaker, an intriguing speaker. Did you see what I did there? So I said interesting, I've used compelling, I've used intriguing. And guess what? I'm saying the same thing. That's what I'm trying to achieve, right? So you're not only saying interesting. There are alternatives, 1,001 of them. For instance, there are many ways to thank the other person. There are many ways to say thank you. You can say, I'm most grateful. You can say, I appreciate you. You can say, thanks a million. Those are different ways to appreciate the other person. So you want to find ways to spice up your speech. You want to use idioms, for instance. You want to say something like, don't cross your boundaries. Don't cross your boundaries. Don't overstep your boundaries. You can say, don't push the envelope. That's a different way of saying don't cross your boundaries. I'll give you an example. So I was watching a news analysis very recently and I heard the presenter say, cut off your nose to spite your face. I was like, that is strange. I've never heard that before. I went on Google, I searched for the meaning, and I understood what she was trying to say further. And what does this mean? It means to inadvertently hurt yourself whilst trying to hurt the other person. So to cut off your nose to spite your face means that you're hurting yourself, most times unknowingly, whilst trying to hurt the other person. That's what it means, to cut off your nose to spite your face. So you use idioms, you listen with intent when other people speak. The way I was listening, so it was a news analysis, but I caught it. And the moment I caught it, I took note of it, I wrote it down, and then I went on to search for the meaning. And now it's something that I can even share with you, my audience. So you want to do all of that to broaden your vocabulary. Another way to broaden your vocabulary is to read wide. Yes, read as many articles, blog posts, news stories while you're watching. See whether you like it or not. So remember, you will find what it is you're looking for. You might be listening to a song, you might be watching a movie. So you want to listen consciously. Whenever you hear or catch a new word, you make a mental note, put it down, search for it in dictionary, search for synonyms. Remember, interesting, compelling, intriguing, riveting. Those are alternative words for interesting. So you want to do all of these things to broaden your vocabulary so that you can keep your audience at the edge of their seats while watching or listening to you. Tip number 6, you want to work on your posture when speaking. Yes, you want to work on your posture. Again, that word is posture, not posture. You're welcome. You're welcome. When you're sitting, for instance, you want to ensure that you're sitting up. You're not slouching. I noticed that my tone was lowered the moment I slouched or the moment I sat like this. That's what happens. So it's almost like you're sitting on your voice when you're just sitting like this. Nah, you want to sit up straight, and that ensures that you're not talking. You're not a lazy speaker. You're an intentional speaker. You are actually speaking, not talking. Do you understand me? So you want to work on your posture. Even when you're standing, you want to ensure that you're also standing up straight. You're not fidgeting. So you want to ensure that your hands are not clasped like this, because this could send a message that you're nervous. You want to ensure that you're not like this. For instance, your head is not lowered, because again, this could signal that you are not confident. So you want to work on your posture and your body language. Actually, you want to look into, as a content creator, for instance, you want to look into your camera, and if it's a physical presentation, you want to ensure that you're looking to the eyes of at least one person in the room. You're not looking left and then right. No, that does not signify confidence in any way. You're not like this. When you do like this, for instance, members of your audience are like, now fight. Who are you quarreling with? And why are you quarreling with us, Derry? What is the problem? No, that is sending, because remember, we have verbal cues and non-verbal cues in communication. So you want to work on your body language and posture. Tip number 7, which I'd say is the most important. And guess what it is? Practice. Practice, practice, practice. Now you can watch this video and then take notes, take it all in, and not do anything about it. On the other hand, you can take all of these tips that I've shared in this video and make use of them. So the next time, for instance, you're watching a movie, you're listening to a song, you're listening consciously, you're listening with intent, with intention not only to be entertained, but also to learn. So for instance, again, you've heard me say interesting. So going forward, you should say interesting after watching this video. I do not expect you to continue to say interesting, if that's how you're pronouncing that word. I don't expect you to continue to say posture, because these are practical ways to becoming an eloquent speaker. So you want to practice. You want to look for opportunities to speak, for instance, at work, in your place of worship. You want to make your voice heard. You don't want to be a fly on the wall. That's an assignment. Yes, that is an assignment. I want you to look for the meaning, look for the meaning of that idiom and put it in the comments section, actually. So these are ways to practice. If, for instance, you want to become a content creator, you want to start putting out videos online, sharing your message or sharing your knowledge with people, practicing is a fantastic way to do this. So you become a better speaker by speaking consistently. You become a better speaker by putting all of these tips to use and then practicing by actually putting yourself out there, maybe at work, in any place or any gathering that you find yourself. Make sure that you look for opportunities to practice. Remember, what you don't use, you will lose. So let's do a quick recap from the top. I said, number 1, be clear in your speech, do not mumble. Number 2, work on your pronunciation. Number 3, eliminate filler words. Number 4, work on your pace. Number 5, broaden your vocabulary. Number 6, work on your posture and body language. And number 7, practice, practice, practice. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please let me know in the comment section. Let me know what stood out for you in the comment section. And don't forget to put the meaning of that idiom, a fly on the wall, in the comments section. If you're not subscribed to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you know when I upload a new video. I hope that you found this helpful. If you did, do what to like, share, leave a comment, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Remember to practice. Bye.